What's up, family? Welcome back to another episode of Riv Academy. And I know I said 6 o'clock, but I just got home. I had to talk to my grandma, do all this other stuff, other extra stuff. But I'm here, I'm back. College basketball is back. And since it is back, excuse me, I definitely got to talk about that too. I want to talk about a little bit of the games that we got a couple days ago, 2, 3 days ago. Yesterday, we got Arizona, we got Duke. And then 2 days before that, we got Auburn and Baylor. So since we got those games, I definitely want to talk about that. I want to get into it a little bit about Isaiah Collier. If I said his name right, I know I'm not good at pronouncing names. Then I want to talk about the Pistons for a little bit. I want to talk about the Clippers, and then I want to just give some love to the Indiana Pacers. But whoever's here, thank you for being here. Drop some questions in the comments. I answer it throughout the show. Make sure to go like, subscribe to Pick a Side channel. Make sure you check out Fantasy Reaction. Check out the Joel Moran Show. Yo, join our Patreon because we have a giveaway that's going out. If you win the giveaway, you get a PS5 and or an Xbox, whichever one is your choice. Let me move my phone to the side. So definitely join our Patreon. And am I missing something? I don't know what else I would be missing. No, that's pretty much it. Join our Patreon. And got some good news for you guys coming in a couple weeks. I'm in the works of doing something for real. And I think you guys are gonna like it. But let's lock into the show, man. Auburn, Baylor. What a game to start the year. I mean, you got Auburn, who I thought was going to be a really good, tough team. They're going to probably be a committee-like team, win by committee. They're pretty deep. I don't want to say deep, but they have good depth. And Baylor, who had a solid class coming in, you would think, they would definitely come out the gate stronger. And I feel like they did it. So let's look at it. So Auburn and Baylor. First of all, on Baylor's side, Jacoby Walter looks like he has NBA potential. I mean, he looks like a guy that he was hitting tough shots. He was getting it in rhythm, getting to the basket at will. The three-point shot looks good. I mean, he looked the part of a top 50 prospect in the country. He looked the part of a freshman that's looking to take over for a Baylor team that needs it. And especially with that Baylor team, like I said, they came out flat. They came out slow. And Auburn looked in control most of that game, and I thought Auburn, I didn't pick a winner going into that game, but I did, tell a couple friends that look for this game to be an exciting game because I think these are two tough teams. And boom, we got a great game. I mean, on the Auburn side, they was outscored 54-39 in the second half. I mean, they were up 43-34 at halftime. They looked in control. Baylor looked like they couldn't get anything consistent going on both ends. Auburn looked like they had everything going. And you expect Bruce Pearl to have his guys at halftime ready to perform, ready to come out because, you're up 9 at the half. Baylor hasn't played good. You expect them to come out the gate and play much better, and they did not. They got into a lot of fouls, and they definitely couldn't get back in rhythm. I mean, Holloway, he scored 19 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. He had a block. He was great. He showed a lot of composure. He was pretty good for the most part, but that Baylor team, that Auburn team just couldn't continue the consistency they had in the first half, in the second half. And I think 32 personal fouls in that game. And to their credit, the refs were calling some ticky-tack fouls. They weren't calling some real, that game was an intensity game. You got two potential tournament teams. Two teams are going to shake shit up in their respective conferences. You would want this game to be a little bit more loose. You would want this game, you want them to play. You want them to, not call it ticky-tacks, and I feel like they were doing that throughout the game. But Baylor took control late. Jacoby Walter, he is a freshman coming in, and with a class like this, you would think he's definitely going to try to put his mark and put his stamp and to start the year off. He was phenomenal, and I think Baylor, they have a solid team. I like Bridges also. I think he can establish his role this year and definitely become an NBA prospect. Definitely a guy in the late first round, early second round. But Baylor's a good team. Baylor's a good team. That point guard, I forgot his name. He was the light-skinned point guard. He was really good. He was strong, physical. He got to his spots. He missed a couple floaters that I thought he probably thought he usually makes, but he was definitely able to get to his spot. But great win for Baylor, and I think Baylor, Jacoby Walter, if he can continue this, I've seen a couple mocks that had him top 20, top 25. If he can continue this type of play, he can easily jump into the top 12, top 10. The way he was playing that game, he was phenomenal. And I want to give him credit because I didn't know much about his game coming in, but that game definitely had me thinking like, all right, I got to pay attention to this guy. But moving on to the big game, yesterday we got ourselves to our first top 25 matchup. We saw Duke and Arizona go at it. A lot of talent in that game. You got Kyle Flip, who's coming back from last year. Also, Tyrese Proctor. You got Jeremy Kane, who's a freshman point guard who was the crown jewel of this class. You got some talent. And then on the other side, you have Caleb Love, who transferred from UNC. If you know college ball, you know who Caleb Love is. He is the Jordan. No, I don't even want to say that. He's just the I don't even know. One minute he can shoot you out of a game, the next he can be a hero. But he is at Arizona. They have Colin Boswell, Balu, who's a pack. He's a preseason pack player of the year. So that's something you want to look like. They're deep. They may not have a one guy, but they're deep. But just to talk about that game, I mean, NBA talent everywhere. And Kyle Flip, I thought he was like, I liked him last year. And I thought like if he can develop a jumper, mid-range, can stretch the floor, he has a solid post game. I can see him going in the first round. He's not this intimidating physical freak in terms of athleticism at the big spot. The way the NBA is trending, you want those type of guys. But Kyle Flip is a guy who can definitely be a really solid player. I mean, he has the tools down low. And if he can just continue to stretch out that jumper, I think he'll be great. But the Blue Devils came in and they were one of the most experienced teams we thought in the preseason. They brought back four of their five starters that won the ACC tournament. Then they bring in Jeremy Kane. You would think, they don't have Mike K no more. They got John. So, okay. But still, you would think this is Duke. Like, this isn't no regular slouch team. This is Duke basketball. And, at first you saw Arizona. Defensively, they were active. They were in there. Caleb Love's defense, it stood out to me. Like Caleb Love was playing attention defense. He was sound on that end. He made sure he was active. He made sure he brought that energy. And sometimes on defense, you don't got to do too much. But if you bring that energy, the team can feel it. The team can definitely feel it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna find y'all this stat. This stat was it shocked me. It definitely shocked me. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if I'll be able to find it in time, but whatever. But I thought, like, that game was huge. Keshad Johnson, he was big for them. He looked like a mismatch problem. And even when Kyle was playing with foul trouble, he still finished with 25 points. I thought he was pretty much doing whatever he wanted. Arizona going to Balu in a couple of times didn't look like a positive play for me. Sometimes it was an offensive foul. Sometimes it was a turnover. Sometimes it led just to a bad play. But the Wildcats don't need a guy to go get 20 to 25 a night. I know we want that, but Arizona is deep. Arizona is going to, have guys that bring a little bit of everything on the team, bring a little bit of everything on the court. And I think for them, that was a big, big, big time win, especially to start the season on the road. They go out there, they beat Duke in a, first of all, amazing game for us that we needed for college basketball, because to start the year off with a top 25 matchup like that, Duke versus Arizona, number 12 and number 2 ranked teams, if I'm not mistaken. That was great. That was great. The game was great. The game was impressive. Boswell played amazing. He looks like another guy who can maybe be a late second round pick, depending on how he is. But college basketball is so back. And I love that it is, because I think that's what we needed. I know people don't like the idea of college basketball. They don't like that it's so outdated, but sometimes just that feel of just the crowd and that feel of just the reaction, and how in college basketball, really anything can happen, like literally anything. I know people say, oh, in the NBA, you get into the playoffs, you have a fighter's or puncher's chance. No, but in college, like anything can happen, because there's so many teams you really don't know. Like you could be a 1 seed, play a 16 seed, and it's like you've never seen them play. You don't, like, you can see film, but you don't know who they are. They could be 20. They could have the same amount of wins as you. Like they could have dominated their whole conference. So like basketball in college is so unpredictable that you don't know what you're gonna get into. But I thought that Arizona and Duke game was great, and I hope this is the first week, so it's not much to talk about. But we're gonna get Michigan State and Duke on Tuesday, which should be a big time game. Duke has to bounce back after losing to Arizona. Jeremy Kane has to show me a little bit more. Tyrese Proctor, if he wants to be considered an NBA prospect, he looked like he played well. Last year he played a little bit well off ball, and I felt like he was a good playmaker. This year he has to show more. I think he can be a solid off-ball playmaker, a great three-point shooter, and a solid defender, but he needs to show me more. Like I want to see that from him this year. And they're gonna need him. They're gonna need him and Flip to continue to elevate their games for this team to make a deep run. And I think Duke can easily win the ACC title again. It's just really gonna come down to those two and Jeremy Kane. And then the last thing I want to talk about in the CBB conversation, because I feel like you guys show me so love in here. Let's look at the comments real quick. Orlando is blowing the Bucks out. Are they really? With Dame isn't playing, that team is sorry. Jason, Bavo, you like my Cougars this season, Houston? I actually do. I think you guys bring back, you bring back the identity. Houston is one of those teams that no matter who comes in, they bring that identity every single year, and they're always going to be a tough, gritty, defensive-minded team. So I like Houston this year. They're not as talented as the teams before, but they're still going to always compete and always perform. So I'm definitely interested to see how far Houston goes. But I want to talk about this point guard at USC who's potentially going to be a top 3 pick in this draft, who is point guard 1 for me in this draft. I don't know how to say his last name, but Isaiah Collier from USC. Yeah, I know I'm not good with names. If you watch Pick a Side, I get probably 95% of people's names wrong. But Isaiah looks great. Listen, he's about 6'4", probably about 205, 210, built real like Lou Dortz, man. He's quick, he's agile, he's strong, he's physical. The defense he tries on that, the intensity on that end, he's giving that effort. The jump shot has to, continue to improve. Ivy prototype, I don't want to say that. I think Isaiah's built more like Marcus Smart in a sense, not saying that like they're the same game, but Isaiah's a big body guard, and I love his game. Like him in the transition, him in the half court when he's getting to the rim. I mean, he's gonna put so much rim pressure, and it's like it's gonna open up the game so much for him. I love his game. I think he is point guard 1 for me. You got other guys, but I think he'll be the one. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how point guards, because, we've had a trend of 6'7", 6'8", 6'6" point guards, and there's another 6'6" point guard over at Providence. I don't know how to say his name, but John Vidal is also another one. It's about 6'6". So that prototype is starting to get in when those little guards like McCain, like Elliott from UNC, it's going to be tough for them. But Isaiah isn't no little guard. No, he is a big, strong, physical guard that puts pressure on the rim in transition and is a solid playmaker, and defense is there. Like, I like the way he plays, man. I really do. Who you got winning the Big Ten, Josh? Ask me again in 2 weeks, because I didn't even when I was watching. When I was doing I was in the off season, I was watching teams. I was looking up teams to see who they got. I didn't really pick a winner for the Big 10, Big 12, and I didn't pick a winner for the SEC either. I thought ACC, I picked Duke. SEC was another one where I saw a ranking, and I saw Tennessee was high. They had Alabama pretty high. They had Kentucky at like 3 or 4, and that was the only comment I made about the rankings. I was like, Kentucky is going to end up higher than where you have them ranked, which I think they had them at 4 or 5. So I didn't really this year. I didn't go into picking who would win or not. I really want to see how the season goes, and then maybe towards conference play, I'll start all right, who do I think will win? But you being a Michigan fan is so tough because you guys have built some strong teams, and you just unfortunately haven't been able to win the big one as of late. But you guys got a good team this year, like a really good team, underrated team. But yeah, that's it for the college talk. Not much going on. UConn dominating team. Stephen Castle looks great. Tristan Newton, Donovan Cleveland looks great. So this is still pretty early. My Syracuse, we got a W. Judah Mintz, he looks good. So you know what I'm saying. We got Boeheim out of here. So hopefully, shout out to Boeheim too. He's a legend. I don't want to say it like that, but Hopefully we can, build this program back to where it needs to be, that prestigious, high quality program that it is in the ACC. Hopefully we can get back to that. But as of right now, we're going, ride the Judah Mintz project and hopefully figure it out. Top hated. Who would you start an NBA franchise with, Paul Pierce or Carmelo? Huh. Um, I would say if I had to choose, which I wouldn't choose neither guy, I'd probably go Melo. Yeah, I'd probably, based off history and what have we seen, I'd probably go Melo. Well, yeah. Yeah, Melo. I'll go Melo. Those Nuggets teams were tough. They just tragically fell into either an elite Suns team, an elite Spurs team, an elite Lakers team, an elite Dallas team. Just it was so tough in the West. Like I can't even fault him, for sometimes not making it. That year when they went to the WCF with Chauncey, though, shout out to Chauncey. That's one of my favorite point guards ever. Ceiling raiser for sure. That year they went to the DCL for Chauncey, though. Melo's really showing his bag. Like, yo, if you put a team around me, I could do some things. Even with New York that year when they was in the second round against Indiana, Melo was pretty tough too. Paul Pierce, he's great. He's only like I don't know how many times he's made it out the first without that big three in Boston, but he's always been clutch, the truth. So I'm not going. I like this conversation is more. I would have to go do big time research, but I would probably say off the top of my head say Carmelo Anthony. But moving on, y'all know how. Listen, once again, y'all know how I feel about Paul George, man. Y'all know how I feel about Paul George. I'm not even about to sit here and sugarcoat it. That's my second favorite player in the world. Probably my fourth favorite player ever. I'm talking about second favorite player in the world behind Steph Curry. And y'all know how I feel about Steph Curry. There's no sugarcoat. That's my dog. I ooze for him. Paul George, same way. That's how I feel about him. Like, Paul George is one of my guys. He has played like complete shit for two back to, even against the Nets, he wasn't like, he was good, but then he started getting bad. And it's like, game before that, he wasn't good. And I want to know where the magic was gone. Like, what happened to the magic? And I think I can't put it all on James Harden for Paul George because he's taking around the same shots he was taking when he was on that little sneaky run. It's just, those were high, tough shots that he was hitting. He's going to come back down to earth, but I think he'll get back in a bounce back game. And plus, the Clippers need it. Because talking about the Clippers, these motherfuckers is 0-3 with James Harden. 0-4 in their last 4 games. Before James Harden got there, 5th in offensive rating, 4th in defensive rating, 3rd in net rating. Russell Wilson, excuse my fucking language. Russell Westbrook was playing out of his mind. And then after James Harden, not saying this completely because he's been playing fine individually. After James Harden trade, 25th in offensive rating, 28th in defensive rating, 27th in net rating. Zubac hasn't been playing well. Paul George hasn't been playing well. T-Man is back, but okay. Kawhi's been stepping it up a little bit. Westbrook hasn't been playing well. So what's been going on with the Clippers? I didn't get to watch the Nets in the next game. It's blacked out in our area. I don't know who made that dumbass idea, but whatever. I got to watch that Dallas game. They are not defending a single soul, a single fucking soul. And it's embarrassing. And shout out to Ty Lue's also one of my favorite coaches. He's known for his adjustments in the Clippers. I mean, remember his adjustment to straight small ball against Dallas. Remember his adjustments in the Utah series. Like, he's an adjustment king. So what's going to be your adjustment for this team? And we talked about it on the podcast. What are they going to do in terms of starting Russ and Harden? And in my opinion, I don't think they really should start them too. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that would work defensively. But even offensively, it's not working. And primarily it's just because Paul George isn't playing well. Because if Paul George is playing well, I doubt they're 25th in offensive rating. You know what I'm saying? But defensively, it's just not there. They have lost 4 straight games. They have lost to both of the teams in New York, and they have lost to Dallas. They got their ass whipped by Dallas. It's early. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, blow it up. This isn't going to work." I'm not going to say it's not going to work. I'm not going to say it is going to work. I'm going to say the same thing I said on the podcast. This will only be successful if they make the finals. But in terms of this core, You got to figure it out. You're 3-4, 3-5. Times is changing. James Harden should come off the bench. Westbrook should come off the bench. Plug in the defender. I think T-Man should start. PJ Tucker's useless. Excuse my language. Let me not disrespect the NBA player. PJ Tucker, though, has not been playing well either. He is running out there and doing nothing. So my thing is, how do you pivot and fix from this? How? What do you do? Well, you make adjustments. You have a conversation within the team. They've been talking about this since offseason. They want James Harden. They think they can make this work. Okay. Ty Lue, you can only do so much. Them boys got to go out there and play. The Clippers are a minus 21.4 in lineups with both Russ and James Harden. I repeat, the Clippers are a minus 21.4 with Russ and Harden in the lineup, which means, and I'm going to explain it even though I know y'all know what it means, which means when Russell Westbrook and James Harden play on the court together and they're in the same lineup, they are getting outscored by 21 points. That's a blowout every single time. Excuse me. I had a little cough lately. I think because my teams are losing and shit. They were a plus 17.9 with Russ and no Harden. Let me repeat. When Russ is in the lineup and Harden wasn't, they were beating teams by 18 points, basically. That's a blowout. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Tell me what we're doing. What's the issue? Now, y'all talking about in the comments, Luka Doncic he's a Clipper killer for sure. But damn, bro. 30. Derrick Jones played well. Grant Williams played well. What Kyrie was like, what are we doing? You got Minnesota, the Lakers, Denver, Phoenix, the Warriors. Like, you got teams in the West. Am I missing somebody? OKC. Like, I'm not even talking about just teams that can go to win the championship. I'm talking about teams that literally gonna give you a run for your money every single night. You cannot be dropping these balls like this. You cannot be playing like this. You can't. There's just no excuse. Defensively, you gotta lock in. I mean, like, I don't even know what this is embarrassing. Like, and it's up to them to figure it out. You know, you gotta flip the switch. You got Minnesota playing well. You got Golden State playing well. You got Denver playing well. You don't want to walk into the playoffs as a 7th or 8th seed. You don't want to do that. You really don't. You don't want to do that. You don't. You want to figure it out now, in November, in December, in January. You want to figure it out now. This team ain't safe from injuries. This is a team that's an injury-prone team. You gutted players. You didn't even play. So what's the excuse? Roku wasn't getting insane minutes. Marcus Morris, he was banged up all year. He didn't even play this year for real. Nick Batum, he gets minutes, but come on. What are we doing? What are we doing? The Clippers got to figure it out. In my opinion, you got to bring Russ off the bench. And then Russ ain't even the problem. Russ or Harden, however you want to shake it. One of them, you cannot play those two at the same time. One of them got to come off the bench. You can maybe play them in the clutch, but then again, I don't know because you don't even get to the clutch. So it's like I don't know, but you cannot start both of them. In my opinion, the starting lineup should be Harden, T-Man, PG, Kawhi, and then you start Zubac. And then you got Russell Westbrook, you got Norman Powell, you got PJ Tucker, Plumlee, and Bones off the bench. Bones has been hooping too. We can't forget that. That was my guy. I said he was going to be one of those guys that improved in my eyes. He's been hooping. That should be the bench. If you want to start PJ Tucker and bring Man off the bench, that's fine too. Either way works, but I think T-Man brings you more at this point, maybe over the last 2-3 years. then PJ Tucker. You need to do it. You got a 10-man rotation. I mean, Plumlee's out for some time right now, so you're probably gonna just run 9 guys because you don't have a backup big outside after Plumlee. So they got to figure it out, man. But pivoting to another team in the East, sliding over to the East because I know the Warriors play 8:30. So you know what I'm saying? I gotta go see that. You feel me? I gotta go get to that. But I dead wanted to get this content out for y'all. Shifting over to a team that's in the East that's been playing good basketball despite their record being 2-8. The Detroit Pistons, man. The Detroit Pistons have been playing good basketball. I don't care what the losses are. 8 losses. I don't care. If you watching the games, if you seen the games, they playing good basketball. And I want people to remember this. They don't like we were talking about the Rockets the other day. That was yesterday. I said the other day. We were talking about the Rockets yesterday. And what's been the key component of their success? Their veterans have been stepping up, playing well, and they've been holding down the fort, and they've been leading the charge. Veterans are so important. Veterans are so important for a young team to get it together and to figure it out. You need those type of veterans, especially veterans with their head on straight. Good vets. You don't need just vet. You need a good vet. And they got that. They got Fred. Dylan Brooks looked like he solid over there. They got Jeff Green. We all know about Uncle Jeff. Like Jeff been around the league long time. Good dude. Gets talked very highly of. Good vet. Jaseen Tate, he not a vet, but yo, he good player. They right now they 5-3. They've won 3 of their last 4. I think they're on a 4-game win streak, 5-game win streak, one of those. They've been playing, they top 10 in offense and defense. They've been playing so well, playing together. Everybody's improving. Vets. Now shifting back over to Detroit, they vets haven't played. Morris is out. Bogue is out. What are we doing? Alec Burke, he was in, but now he's missing time. Your best players, your best shooters, your best players, your best playmakers, not playing. Injured. Vets. I'm going to keep talking about vets. So what did that leave? Cade Cunningham is in the 100th percentile in usage rate. Do you know what 100th percentile is? That's number 1 in the league, basically, bro. That means he has the ball more than anybody in the NBA. 100th percentile. And this is not a knock on Cade. That's a lot to put on a third-year player coming off an injury without the requisite pieces around him. That's a lot. I mean, if you watch Piston games, you see him going to the rack wall off a pick and roll, another man. Like it's crazy to me. Cade is also 98th in the 98th percentile in assist percentage. So he's showing off that playmaking prowess, but he's also bottom 20 in the league in turnovers. It's going to come with that. I don't like the turnovers are an issue, but I don't think it's a big issue when you have the ball so much in your hands like that. Like it's tough. It's just where are the turnovers at like at the time? Are they turnovers in key crucial moments or early in the game? Like those turnovers that you trying to fit it in a tight window or you trying to make the right play that just didn't get there. I understand those, but the bonehead turnovers I can't get with. But once again, he's getting he has the ball more than almost anybody in the league. That's a lot. That's a lot. Cade is second in the league in drives right now at 18.5 drives a game. He's finishing at a 44% clip. It's not great for a 6'7" point guard. But then again, add context. They're getting on him. They're getting on him. And this is a team that's I love this team. I love the way they've been fighting, but we need those vets back, man. We need those vets back. Now let's go down the rotation, man. Asar Thompson might make the defensive team. He might legitimately make the defensive team as a rookie, and he could potentially win a Defensive Player of the Year award in year 3 or 4. And I'm not even joking with you right now. I'm not playing. This is a dude. I just saw him the other day had Dame on him. He was on Dame in the island. Dame, huh, go to the rack, stop. Now y'all know how quick Dame is. Y'all know how precise and just good Dame is. Stop on a dime. Asar still with him. Dame's step back. Asar is still with him. Gets the block on a Dame jumper. How many rookies do we see doing that? Maybe Herb Jones. Like Herb Jones was a full-year player in college. Asar didn't play college. He played in the high school league. Asar Thompson's defense is legit. I mean, he's already a top 10 perimeter defender in the league, in my eyes. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care what the sample size is. I'm going to be honest with you. And I've been big on both the twins. The instincts are there. The ability is there. Like, he just wrecks shit almost every play. His play-by-play awareness is nuts. Asar Thompson's stats for the year so far, 11.4 points per game, 10 rebounds. What the fuck? 1.9 blocks, 3.7 assists, and 1 steal a game. What are we doing here? He's a rookie. He shouldn't be doing this as a rookie. 1.9 blocks, a steal, and 10 rebounds? I'm talking about he's getting blocks off the help side. He's getting blocks on one-on-one. He's getting blocks on transition. He's getting blocks in the chase. That however you want it, he's gonna get it. Whoa, that sounded crazy. I don't care. Asar's been, yo, this man almost got me crying. Asar's been great, man, and obviously this is not sustainable. Like, when do we think he's gonna average 2 blocks, a steal, and 10 rebounds? I don't know. If he does, that's fucking impressive. I don't know. But at the same time, this man has been ridiculous. But the issue is with him, though, 16% from the 3-point line. That's abysmal. That's horrible. I'll be honest. I don't know what, like, he's left wide open. He's airballed probably the most I've ever seen a player airball in their first 8 games. But the one thing I like is it's not taken away from his confidence. He's still shooting that shit like it's no time tomorrow. And he's a hard worker. He's going to continue to work on that. And once he gets that elevation, that jumper, and I want to see increased ball control, increased ball handling ability. He's already been pretty solid at the rim for a rookie, so I'm not too worried about that. I know that'll improve, but yo, Asar, man, he's been great. And dude, I don't know. Like, I don't like, this guy is just nuts. And another rookie that has been great. Well, this is why I love Detroit's, I loved their draft. Marcus Sasser, man. His last 5 games, 16, 3-3 on 48, 42, 100 splits. What the fuck is going on? I mean, this guy has been hooping. And he's been, like, this dude was a bucket in college. But this dude is really a bucket right now. Like, I hope they continue to keep him in the rotation because they're pretty much at a logjam right now. Jaden Ivey, who right now I did find out, shout out to Pistons feed, I did find out, that he's dealing with internal illness. So he is sick, and like, for sure. But they got Ivy. Cade's spot solidified. So they got Ivy. They got Killian Hayes. Monte Morris will be back. You got Marcus Sasser. That's 4 guards. How you figure that out? I don't know. Alec Burke can also play the guard. Joe Harris can also play guard. Like, this, it's going to be a little bit of a logjam. They got to figure it out. But, like, Marcus Sasser, man, I hope they keep him in. Like, I hope they keep him in the rotation, man. He's been so great. Scott England, I didn't know Rip had to pick an Ant-Man behind him. I'm not going to lie. That was so disrespectful to the GOAT himself. You got to stop, bro. Y'all got to stop, bro. That's the one and only. To get there, to get this, to be this fucking good, Ant got to do a lot, man. Ant got to do a lot. Shout out to Ant. To get here, he got to get there. Like, when you there, you feel me? Like, he ain't there, but he could. Listen, to get there, not many dudes have been there. So, like, Braun been there. Kareem, respect, been there. Well, he was there first, and then MJ got there. Braun, there. But Magic ain't there. Bird ain't there. Like, Kobe ain't there. You know what I'm saying? Like, to get there, only 3 dudes been there. So the statistics don't go your way to get there. But shout out to Ant though. Shout out to Ant. He funny as hell. He's a great player in this league. He's going to be one of those guys to help carry and pivot our league to the next generation of players. But Scott, show some fucking respect, man. Keep going though. Here we go. The Pistons are 2-8, but they're 18th in offensive rating and defensive rating. So they're pretty much a middle of the pack offense, middle of the pack defense. And I think with the additions of the vets when they come back from injury, I think the offense will improve. Defensively, Duren has been in and out the lineup, and when he's locked in, he's locked the fuck in. And we know how Duren's potential is off the charts, you know. And I think this team defensively can get better for sure. But I think offense is going to be their niche. I think when those guys come back offensively, they'll be able to prove, you know. They just have been, you know, dealing with a lot of injuries to a lot of their players, and they have been pretty much hampered with guys in and out the lineup, and that hinders Cade, you know, to a degree. He wants to play with his guys. He wants to, you know, play with the players he's supposed to be playing with, you know, the shooters. You know, you imagine a lineup of Cade and he got Joe over here, yeah, Bogue in the corner, Duren is rolling, and then he got Sasser in the game too. That's 3 shooters. What are we doing? Like, what are they gonna do? Help? Boom, jumper. Bow. Like you could just only imagine the lineups they could throw out there, you know, with Cade, with Bogue, with Joe Harris, like with these shooters, with Alec Burke. Like, I ain't like, come on. You can only imagine. But I want to see a fully healthy Detroit Pistons team because I think, you know, Detroit, for real, like they're a good team. Like I think they're 2-8, but they're a good ass team, and they just need to be healthy to really, you know, get to that level. But let me answer this super chat before I go into my last topic. Damian Delgado, shout out to you for that, man. Listen, man. I gotta get a schedule because I feel like 22 people is so low for me. Like I feel like it's disrespectful of me. I feel like I would have more people if I had a schedule. It is Saturday night though, so maybe I should do a better schedule. But I just get up and I want to do a vid and I don't. Damian Delgado, whose legacy will be affected more by one ring, LeBron or Curry? I want to say Curry because I think LeBron's legacy is already cemented. He's either number 1 or number 2 for you. I don't even think he's either 1 or 1A. Like he's a 1A, 1B thing. I don't think he's lower. You know, I think he's already cemented his legacy. I think he's pretty much either the GOAT in your eyes or damn near close. With Steph, Steph has an opportunity to climb up more with that ring. Like Steph is in most people's eyes at this point top 10, 12 ever. To me, he's top 10 ever. If he gets another ring, he probably propels into the top 7, top 8. Like he moves up more. Where LeBron, he can't really move up more, in my opinion. Like, so I would say, you know, I would say Curry is definitely the guy. Because if Curry gets 5, dude, and he gets the Finals MVP, dude, Magic got 5. Woo! That's what I'm saying. So I'd say Curry for sure. But moving on to the last topic of my episode, you know, I want to talk about the Indiana Pacers. Oh, excuse me, my throat. I'm going to talk about the Indiana Pacers, man, because I want to have this conversation because I think people can't just enjoy excitement. I mean, people can't just enjoy excitement. People can't just let the vibe ride out. People can't just be excited for what they have in front of them. People always gotta see something and think ahead. See something and then, you know, oh, they you know, like just overreact. And what we should be doing is just enjoying the moment. And I think that's what's happening with this Indiana Pacers team. We're not enjoying the moment. Let me answer this question first. Who are the 3 best teams in the West, in your opinion? Well, coming into this year was no order, Suns, Lakers, Denver. So I still think they're the 3 best until I see something different. So I won't like change my mind until like later down the road, you know. But Indiana, I think, is one of those teams that are getting put in the they're playing great. Let's jump to conclusions. Let's not just enjoy the moment. And let's enjoy the fact that they're one of the most exciting teams in basketball right now. Like, why can't we just enjoy that? Why do we have to, oh, this Tyrese is better than him? Oh, Indiana's better than why we like, no, let's just enjoy the fact and see if they can continue this pace. And that's what I want to know. Can they continue the fact that, first of all, Tyrese Halliburton has been on a tear. Like, he is first in isolation points per possession, fifth in pick and roll points per possession, fifth most drives, 90th percentile in drive field goal percentage, second in pass percentage. Like, this dude, second in rim assists, second in 3-point assists. He's leading the best offense and the best half court offense. I mean, this team is like, Reese is a plus 15 differential on and off numbers, and that's 82nd percentile in the league. Like, Indiana is in the 92nd percentile in points per possession in the half court, 83rd in points per play, 80th percentile in mid-range shots, 80th percentile in corner threes, 62nd in non-corner threes, 86th in EFG, 92nd in points per possession in transition. They have been the most exciting team in basketball right now. And I think you gotta like give them credit. They have been hooping. Like, they've been putting on offensive show after offensive show after offensive show. And that's what we want to see as the fans. We want to see a guy, like a team, come out the woodworks like Sacramento and just play winning basketball, like play fun, entertaining basketball. This is an entertainment at the end of the day. We want to see dudes compete, of course, but we want to see dudes play ball. We want to see dudes be exciting, and we want to see dudes kind of, just give us a story to ride with. And Indiana's that young, fun, exciting new team on the block story. And I think people, Tyrese has been playing amazing. I think people want to put him like, oh, he's better than Trey. Oh, he's a top 3-point guard in the league. Oh, he can be better than, Dame. I'm just using examples. But like, why do we have to do that? It's 8-9 games into the season. Why can't we just be excited for what's going on? Why do we have to, sit here and put him in conversations he doesn't need to be? Sit here and put Indiana in conversation they need to be. Like, we're talking about an 8-9 sample size of you people basically telling me, oh, this is a top 3 team in the East. We don't know that. You don't become a top 3 team in the East in November. You don't become a top 3 player in the league in November. You don't become a top 5 player in the league in November, and that's what brings hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to use SGA as an example. Shout out to Bash, too, because I was just about to talk about him. SGA was one of the most polarizing players in the league last year. Averaged 30, All NBA first. Had OKC fighting all year. But like, people started to put, like, even ESPN or whatever those main, like the main accounts, put him a top 8 player in the world. And it was like, I love SGA. SGA is one of my 5 favorite players in the world. But like, top 8? See, like, what are we doing? We gotta, let's let him figure it out. Because then you put unwarranted expectations on him. Now we expect OKC to make this leap so early. Now we expect OKC to win the championship. Just saying hypothetically, hyperbole, of course. And now for Indiana, we're expecting them to do this, do that, do that. Let's just let them have fun and see what they could do first, and then talk about it. Let's let them, because they were like last year. I wish Reese didn't get injured. We could have definitely seen what they could have been. But this year is definitely another year we'll be able to see that. And I feel like at this point with Reese and the Pacers, I hope they continue to play like this. I want to see this. I want to see the fun, exciting ways of basketball. I want to see them go out and transition, be one of the best offenses we've ever seen. Like, I want to see it. It's fun. It's fun to watch, but at the same time, we got to have a healthy medium and a healthy balance. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop doing that, because it brings unwarranted expectations, and then it brings the bashing, he's overrated, this, that, and the third. But he shouldn't have been overrated, because you should have never put him there. Bars. So I think Indiana, though, it's going to be interesting to see where they end in the standings at the end of the year, and then playoff time, who they match up with. Because the East, it's Boston, Philly's up there. I still trust Milwaukee, and then it's the rest. Like, where else is everybody going to figure it out? Like, where else is everybody going to be at? And I'm excited to see. But that's going to do it for the show. Sure, I had to get some content out for you guys. I will be dropping another episode Tuesday night after that Duke and Michigan State game, pardon me. I want to thank y'all all for being here. Thank y'all all for joining. Don't forget, join the Patreon for Pick a Side. Go like and comment on the video. Make sure you tell your friends and tell a friend and tell a friend. Make sure y'all go check in on the fantasy reaction if you love fantasy. Make sure y'all go check in on the Joel Moran Show. New content coming out on my actual Riv Academy page in January. This is just putting out content for Pick a Side. It's going to be 2 separate things. That's going to have a completely different name. I'm coming out with a new new thing, merch coming out in January too. So be on the lookout for that. Thank y'all and have a good day.